Rudy Giuliani, a big defender of the president, not necessarily an effective one. He keeps throwing other people and in fact departments of the federal government under the bus. And also implicating himself in even worse actions than we had previously thought. Let's get to a little bit of Giuliani's recent attempts to clarify the record.
Let's show them. Let's show them. They're dated before Trump's call with the Ukrainian president and involve correspondence with Ambassador Volker, who is the U.S. Special Rep to Ukraine. Now, what is the significance of these? And are you, Rudy, concerned that you're unnecessarily dragging, his name into this?
Who? Whose name?
Volker's name.
Well, yes,
Volker.
He should step forward and explain what he did. The whistleblower falsely alleges that I was operating on my own. Well, I wasn't operating on my own. I went to meet Mr. Zelensky's aide at the request of the State Department. 15 memos make that clear.
So do you guys understand what's happening there? Not only are the rats leaving the ship, they're starting to fight one another. So Giuliani is saying, "Hey man, don't put me in jail. The State Department made me do it." And he, in fact, the other night put up his one time a phone, another time an iPad on screen, and then finally he sent it to the Fox News producers and they made a graphic out of it and put it up, saying this is the State Department sending me texts telling me to go to Ukraine. Apparently the State Department's livid about that. We got more details. Basically, they're saying, I'm not going to prison, you're going to prison. Now, if you hadn't done anything wrong, would you go around going, it wasn't me, it was them, it wasn't me? Like, let's say that you scored the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. Would you go, it wasn't me, it was him? No, you'd say, hey, that was me, hey, thank you guys, I appreciate it, right? Well, if you threw the interception or you committed the crime, you would go, hey, State Department made me do it, right? Why are you saying the State Department made you do it if you're proud of it?
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, and we've got a little bit more video of him. As you're watching these last two videos, and this should already be clear if you've been watching Rudy Giuliani throughout this week and earlier too, if in normal times, this is not the sort of person that would still be doing work for the government. He can't, they bring him on TV because he's technically the president of the lawyer of the president, but he can't put himself together. He's floundering, he's bringing out his phone and doing weird things. He's a person who is falling apart before our very eyes. But unfortunately, because we have a child as president, this is the sort of sycophant that he surrounds himself with. So here's a little bit more of Giuliani attempting to explain the relationship between him, the State Department, and the trip to Ukraine.
Is your relationship with Pompeo good? Are you guys good? Because Maggie Haberman, who apparently knows everything at the New York Times, she said that Pompeo is unhappy with you. Is that true? I know both of you. I haven't heard about this except from Maggie Haberman.
I actually think they should all congratulate me. Because if it weren't for me, nobody would have uncovered and faced massive corruption by the Vice President of the United States. In fact, I'm a legitimate whistleblower. I have uncovered corruption that this Washington swamp has been covering up effectively for years. And his State Department, asked me to do this. So, Mike, if you're unhappy with me, I'm sorry, but I accomplished my mission. I have no idea if he's unhappy with me or not. I frankly don't care. I'm the president's lawyer.
No, that was amazing. God, I love that.
So weird.
I love that so much. So let's break that down. Do you understand what Laura Ingraham was trying to get at? She was saying, this Maggie Haberman from the fake news New York Times is saying you guys are mad at each other, but go ahead, Rudy, right? Rudy's supposed to say, oh no, that's not true, fake news. Of course, we're all on the same team, but he doesn't. Instead, he, first of all, in his senility / whatever is going on in his head, doesn't understand the softball that Ingraham just gave him. And then secondly goes, hey, if he's mad with me, hey, look, man, I'm the hero here. Literally said that later. I'm the whistleblower and he should be, so if that's up to him. And you can see Laura Ingraham's face like starting to wilt, like, no, you weren't supposed to go there. So this is an epic disaster unfolding right in front of your eyes. Even Fox News can't stop the bleeding.
Yeah, and he says there at the end that I'm the president's lawyer. And if you watch, she was on Ingraham a couple days ago, and she was trying to get into why would they send you? She again teeing it up like you've got to have coordinated your message with the president. You've got to have something, but he didn't have anything. So again, If you actually cared about corruption in Ukraine, you would come up with instances of it that had to do with actual Ukrainians, not just a list of your vendettas against presidential candidates on the Democratic side. And if you were trying to deal with Ukrainian corruption, you would send a diplomat to deal with that, not the personal lawyer of the president. He doesn't seem to get that that's super weird, and everybody gets it, but not him, and that also is weird. On top of that, we're gonna have more video, but he spoke with a reporter on the phone and came across much more rational, saying things like, "It is impossible that the whistleblower is a hero and I'm not, and I will be the hero." You know that you are on the precipice of greatness when you shout at a reporter, "I will be the hero." These morons, when this is over, I will be the hero. If this guy's a whistleblower, then I'm a whistleblower too. You should be happy for your country that I uncovered this.
Okay, so
the last thing I'll say about Giuliani, because I think it's true of a few people in this administration, is that they are drunk on the spotlight. And as John said, they're because of his manic style and because of the fact that many of them will say a lot of things that just appear not to have any sort of rational sense, but just it's increasingly just flailing. I mean, verbal flailing. They become good talk show guests. They become good people to book on these various shows. And he is at the epicenter of the presidency in this case. But I think what you see in Giuliani and what you just saw in that quote, and what you see on television played out over and over and over again, is a guy who is drunk on the spotlight. He feels relevant and he feels heard. And unfortunately, the reality just doesn't match that spotlight because he's in real trouble.
Yeah, but guys, he's also lost his mind. Like, you know how big my ego is. I don't think anybody would dispute that. We kid around about it on the show all the time. If I came on the show and yelled, "I will be the hero," you'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, Jake lost his mind and we're done with it," right? I mean, so
like inauguration. Bernie gets inaugurated. Oh, Bernie's the hero? I will be the hero.
I'm the guy who got Bernie elected.
Okay, and so even me, one of the biggest egomaniacs in media, would never say that because that's insane. Right?
Do you want to know what else you might do if you were the biggest egomaniac? And this just stinks of like weird things about Michael Cohen. This is from The Reporter. When I last saw Rudy Giuliani, his most pressing concern was that he'd been locked out of his Instagram account. Giuliani, the former mayor of New York City and current personal attorney to President Donald Trump, had a young woman named Audra who told me she had won the Hotties for Trump Reddit channel's Miss Deplorable contest 3 years in a row.
Oh, I was wondering who won that.
There to assist him. How many years have they been doing it? That's all of them, I think.
Well, to be fair, it's a big deal when you get locked out of your Instagram account.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah, well, I wish there was a whistleblower on that. So, and by the way, that's not how whistleblowers work. It's like, if I said, "Hey, I disagree with Joe Biden's policy on the crime bill or the war on drugs," aha, I am the whistleblower. No, that's already public information, and I'm politically opposed to Joe Biden because I support the progressives. That's not a whistleblower, that's just stating your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, but keep in mind, guys, we see a lunatic. Even Laura Ingram's like, ugh. A couple of nights ago, she shooed him off the air. She said, "Oh, you got to go take care of your voice. It's too hoarse. You got to go." Okay, like even Laura Ingraham can see this guy is mentally unstable. But the next day she brings him on. She's like, "Oh, that was good ratings, though."
That's the
okay,
point,
right? And she brings him back in.
Once she had him on in the beginning, he left. Then he forced himself back onto the show later to yell that the other person on the show was a moron.
Yeah, and he's like, "Have you seen my texts? You can't see my Instagram account, but my texts." Okay. But Trump,
the deep state locked down my TikTok.
But Trump sees that and goes, "That's my guy."
Yeah.
That's how it's, I mean, it is the sequel to Dumb and Dumber. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.